Hi, my name is Chris Olsen, and this is my 2025 dating wrapped. Here are some of the things that we're going to cover in this dating wrapped. We're going to cover my enemies. We're going to cover the exes I had to deal with this year. We're going to cover my shaved head, my disappearance, my return to dating apps, my situationships, my international dates, my flights, and then my eventual boyfriend. Okay, number one, we're going to talk about enemies. I had two of them this year. One of them was an enemy before. I actually referenced him in my last dating wrapped because we reconnected. We have now re-disconnected, if that's a word. And one of them was a surprise enemy. In my little note over here, I said I went off on both of them over text, but I think I was a little too mean to one of them. I honestly should have just had a therapy session before I sent that text. That was to the guy who I reconnected with and then disconnected with. We disconnected again after I sent that text, as you can imagine. And now we have the two exes that I had to deal with this year. Now, ex number one, we kind of had a tough ending to our relationship, but then he reached out after the death of my grandma, and he was honestly pretty sweet during that time. And then ex number two, we had a pretty good relationship, but then he tried to get me canceled online. So the roundup is that sometimes exes can surprise you. Now let's talk about my shaved head. Most years I went blonde. This year I decided to shave my head. The dating notes are that I did not go on any dates during this time. I don't know if I liked the look of the shaved head. It was okay during some lengths, but for the most part, I was trying to hide away. I probably won't do it again, but you never know. Also, this is me featuring the CEO of TikTok. Now we have my disappearance, otherwise known as a social media break. During this disappearance, I read a lot of books, I did a lot of good self-reflection, and I had a lot of good therapy sessions. By the end of the break, my therapist did suggest getting back in the dating game, which did lead to me re-downloading some of the dating apps, but I will say life was peaceful without men. Now let's talk about me returning to dating apps, okay? I got on Hinge, I got back on Raya, and then I got on one that I don't know if you can really call it a dating app. This was the first time I got on Hinge. I decided to give it a try, and it definitely gave me the most success I had with dating. Raya, I've had two successful situationships from it before, but most of the time people are just on that as a status app. And then the last one, I don't really need to talk about it. Now we have our situationships of the year. I only had one this year. We had actually ended up going on 3 dates a few years ago, but I actually ended it. So then when I returned to dating apps, I saw him on Hinge, we started messaging, and then we went on one date in LA before I decided to leave for a month. So we talked every day before he eventually ended it this time. Twist, but he's still a great guy. I wish him well, and the situationship time was about 1 month long. Now we have our international dates. When I moved to London for the summer, my therapist challenged me to go on a bunch of dates, so I scheduled all of these within 1 week. These are all chronological, and I will start with date number one, which is with a British man. He was nice. I did all the conversational work. I did not agree to a second date. Date number two, we had a Polish man. It was a walking date. I want to say we walked for about 3 hours. My legs were tired, and then he left the country for a month. Neither of us really tried to schedule a second date after that. Date number three was a German man. This was also a walking date, and then for the second date, he was trying to convince me to come to his country, but then when we were scheduling a FaceTime to talk about me coming to his country, he ended up ghosting me for that FaceTime, so I decided I couldn't trust him and did not want to fly to another country for him, and that's where that date ended. Date number four was with a British man who took me to the hardest workout class of my life, but then we went out to get pizza afterwards. We ended up sitting at that pizza place for about 5 hours until the restaurant closed, and they told us we had to leave. That ended up being a good one, and I ended up taking many flights for him. Now, after my London summer was ending, I knew I wanted to keep this talking stage going, but I wasn't supposed to be in London all that often after the summer ended, so I decided to manufacture reasons to come to London and say, I'm here and we should hang out. So I took multiple flights across the world just to do that. I probably didn't have to tell him that I was doing it for any other reason, but I did because I thought maybe just going there to continue a talking stage looked a little crazy, but hey, I am a little crazy, and if we're gonna date, you're gonna have to know that. And now we have the boyfriend. If you remember date number four, that is boyfriend. He took me to the workout class, we went to get pizza, we talked for 5 hours, and the flights ended up being worth it. It's also no surprise to me that we met during a much mentally healthier era of my life after I took a break and decided to regroup my own mind. And don't worry, I will stop blurring his face eventually. He's the guy behind me in this photo, by the way. Anyway, thank you. This is probably gonna be my last dating wrapped because we're gonna get married.